Good evening. Good evening. Welcome, people, to the Keeping It Real Conversations with Sunshine. I am your host, Camila, aka Sunshine. It is Thursday, December 22nd, 2022. We're almost out of here for the new year. I'm so excited to be, of course, in the land of the living. We are live on Facebook, my page. I just opened it up. Matter of fact, let me do that now for everyone to get on. We are live on Twitch. We are live on the YouTube channel, which is the name of the show, Keeping It Real Conversations with Sunshine. Please like, share. We are live on Twitter as well. I'm so excited. I have been waiting. It seems like forever to have this conversation tonight with this awesome fella that we're going to get into his bio, get into this wonderful conversation. And I'm excited about it. And we will get into some other conversations that we were having off camera, because I understand that with villages, we all need each other, especially in times like these, when you're going through situations or you're feeling some type of way. We need someone to talk to.
Absolutely.
And so tonight we have Mr. Jonathan Miller.
Camilo, what's up? How are you?
I am awesome. I am
Good.
awesome. We always be better. What did I do with you?
And that's can you see me?
I don't know what I did with you. I can hear you.
Okay. Hold on 1 sec. I'm just gonna double
did some camera. Where are you?
I see you just fine.
Yeah, I moved the screen, so I'm trying to figure out where did I do with you. Oh, there you are.
Okay, perfect.
So let's get into your bio real quick.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can get into our conversation for tonight. I am definitely so happy that you are here tonight.
Thanks for having me. One thing. After you.
Go ahead.
No, after you. I'll wait.
Jonathan Miller is a Temple University grad who fell short playing in the NFL. And from that point, I'm man, this is crazy. And found his new love as an investor for a Wall Street firm, and has since then never looked back, while learning how to grow a business and falling many times in the process, including being evicted and sleeping on his office floor. He eventually managed to grow a multi-million-dollar business on Wall Street. As a result, he and his business partner began teaching business people in all industries how to sell their products to anyone, whether they're through cold calling or face-to-face meetings through their company, Big Time Closer. At the end of the day, he firmly believes he has gotten to where he is through serious meditation and hard work ethic, which is also displayed through a book he has written called The Blueprint, Dare to Be Wise. Again, I want you guys to welcome Jonathan Miller to the show. And how are you this evening?
Oh, one quick thing. Thanks for having me. When I was getting dressed this morning, I told myself to try to wear something that would match one of the colors that you wear, whether it's your lipstick or your hair. So this color shirt didn't fall too short to your hair color, and I love it, and we kind of match.
Yes, absolutely. If you know me for real, you know I love color.
I love it. And Camille, I'm sorry. One other thing. Thanks for having me on the show. It's a pleasure. And one thing I wanted to tell you is I love how, so in today's world, the beauty we have compared to before with lack of technology. We have bridges to connect and to teach and to learn and to grow. And you are a part of the bridge that we walk on, right? You connect this person to that person, and that person had no idea that other side of the bridge existed. You connect. You help open minds. You help open careers. You help open thoughts and ideas. You help extinguish biases. So your job and what you're doing is amazing. And as you grow, I'm excited to watch you grow because you're only going to get bigger. And I'm excited to be a part of it. So thank you for having me.
Man, you about to make me cry early.
Don't cry. Don't cry.
We already discussed that I was being emotional already. So now you say that. Thanks a lot. You're going to mess up my makeup already.
As long as your hair and lipstick is good, you're fine.
My goodness. So, Jonathan Miller was and is, he was a highly recommended person to me through his cousin, Jay, who was on a couple of months ago. And I had the opportunity to do a showcase for emergent leaders, and Jay was on. And Jay said, you know what? I got some people I want you to talk to. And it's awesome when someone believes in what you're doing and recommends and tell other people about what you do. And so he says, I'm going to give you my cousin's information, and I, talk to him. So my first conversation with Jonathan, not realizing where he's located. So
Sydney, Australia.
So for all those who have been following me for the last 2.5 years, we have our first person who's in Australia.
International. You're worldwide now.
International. I have had somebody that was a couple of people from Italy have been on here, but okay, you're the first one from Australia. And when he said it, I was like,
I'll take that.
Sydney. I'm like, are we saying Sydney, Australia? He said, right. Yeah. So again, welcome here. And I appreciate you because we're hours apart from each other to be able to to take the time to talk to us.
Just to put it in perspective for your audience, it is 11 a.m. over here. And for you guys, Eastern Standard Time, it is 7 p.m. And you're one day behind. So what is it for you? The 20th?
It's the 22nd.
So it's the 23rd for me. 11 a.m. the 23rd. Wow. You're December 22nd, 7 p.m. Just to put it in perspective.
Wow. That's even deeper. So again, this is an amazing conversation. For those who are on, please like, share, subscribe, tell some people, because you're going to get some nuggets that's going to help you in your life journey. One of the things that I wouldn't say pride myself on, but I have to be open, honest, transparent, because I don't know other way. I had reached out on Facebook earlier to say, pray for your girl, because I needed it. I felt like at the moment my emotions was all over the place. Like I was hurting inside. Not only carrying the weight, it felt like I was carrying the weight of the world on me. I had told you there was some unexpected death with someone that was very close to me. And then right before her death, we talked about DJ Twitch, that really kind of knocked me off kilter. I don't know if I have shared this on the platform before, but for those who really know, I have always said that I wanted to be the next Ellen DeGeneres with her personality, how she touched her people, how people gave, and she was always into giving people opportunities left and right. And people ask me, why didn't you want to be Oprah? I wanted to be who I wanted to be. And she spoke out to me more than Oprah. Nothing against Oprah, but
Nothing wrong with that.
Ellen spoke out to me. And right before I knew that she was leaving her talk show, God was speaking to me about, I'm going to replace her with you. And so I kept questioning it, like, what do you mean replace her with me? And he said, why not? You do the same thing. She just has the platform, that big platform, but you have the same heart. I said, okay. And when the whole situation happened, I'm looking at all these clips of all the things that she's done. She has affected a lot of people that you would have never known about until they were on her show.
Mm-hmm.
Like the young lady who passed away from cancer, from brain cancer, who had been on there. The young lady loved Dwayne Wade. So she made it happen for Dwayne Wade to not to bless their home, but also to be there during her difficult times with her husband, going through brain cancer. Well, a month ago, I want to say, she ended up passing away. So it started with that, and then DJ Twitch suicide floored me, and I was trying to say to you that I felt like I didn't get there fast enough in order to have a conversation with DJ Twitch. Like, no way. No way. The unexpected death, going through situations in my body. I have not come out and completely told everybody, but I am full-blown diabetic at this point, where I'm supposed to be on insulin. And I'm like, I don't want that.
Hey, Camila, quick question. With the diabetes type you have, you can it can leave, right?
Yes, type 2.
Right. Yep, that's all you need. Mm-hmm.
So I'm mentally getting myself prepared to, as we say, go to war.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
For
and you're gonna get rid of it. You're gonna get rid of it because you're gonna do what you need to do to get rid of it.
Absolutely. To have a better grips on life. I got so much stuff to do. I don't have time to be dealing with a disease. And so I was going through in my body. I was completely tired and just lethargic, and that's not me. And I'm like pushing, and I'm like, something has to give, because I can't do this like this. Yep. And so so we started with being open and honest of, relieving what was bothering me, what is going on in my mind, going on with, trying to push for my loved ones, push for a person like you to be able to tell your story. Sometimes as trailblazers, it's hard. Yeah, it's hard.
Yep. And if it were, unfortunately, it is hard. But if it were easy, everyone would do it, right? And that's what distinguishes, mediocre from amazing. And okay, you have type 2 diabetes. It sucks. Big deal in terms of, like, no big deal in terms of, you're going to do what you have to do. You're going to get rid of it. And you doing that is setting an example for all your viewers who may be going through the same thing, to do the exact, or to take action the same way you did, to move on. So you going through that situation is helping everyone else, and even with Ellen and you feeling what God told you, it's gonna work out. It's gonna work out the way it's supposed to work out. That's just how life works out, right? It's mysterious, but it's also definite. It's definite in terms of, you felt this mysterious, beautiful voice from God, or you felt it, or you heard it, however it was communicated, and you believe it. So And at the same time, all this craziness is going on. It's like, how is this going to happen? There's so much craziness, but it's going to come back together, and it will come together, and you're going to see that, and you're going to be ready for the moment when it does. I strongly believe that. So that's why I'm saying that. Not to make you feel better. I just believe that.
I appreciate it. Trust me. At this moment is breathing life into the not so much the dream, but understanding that sometimes you sit back and you be like, do people get what I'm doing? Do they understand what I'm doing? And getting the answer from you and so many others who support, who understands what I've been called to do.
Right.
Because this wasn't for me. So
and I want to say no. I want to say no. People won't understand, and it's not for people. It's not for everyone to understand. Sometimes it's not for anyone to understand, but you. You know, when you're on a journey to doing something so miraculous, so amazing, that not many people can do or are capable of doing, no one's gonna understand. You know, how would they understand? They're not in that process. They don't have that mindset. They haven't been where you're going or where you've been, and they can't fathom where you want to go. So, yeah, we can't expect people, everyone, to understand. There may be 1, 2, or 3 people at tops who'll understand. And those are the people we just need to keep close.
Absolutely. I totally agree. So enough about me in my moment. Let's get into the beginning. Let's go back into my first question of talking to you was, how did you get to Australia?
It's a good question. It's a good question. I'm trying to figure out the answer. When I was working and meeting clients face to face, and a lot of the clients that I would be forced to meet, well, a lot of my clients, being that they were investors in the market, in the stock market, they had to be high net worth individuals. And in meeting these people face to face, everyone had a very similar story. I used to live here. I lived there for 20 years. Then I moved over there and here and here. And listening to all of these people speak, and it wasn't just me trying to figure out a way to follow successful individuals. It kind of veered off into this. It was, okay, firstly, you should travel because all these successful people travel. But more importantly, it was, we're going to die one day. And it would suck to die and sit back and say, shit, I didn't even travel Earth. I'm from Earth. I lived there all my life, and I didn't even travel. The globe. So that was my reason. That was my cause. In Australia, in particular, it was either London, Shanghai, and Australia, and I haven't been to either. So a few people from London, they said, "Don't move here. It's bloody rainy, right?" And I said, "Cool. I'm gonna listen to you." Shanghai, I knew no one from Shanghai, and so I couldn't get any perspective. But it was a huge language barrier, so I said, "Whatever." Oh, and by the way, I chose 3 places, three locations that would be good for business, right? For finance. And then Australia, I knew a few people from Australia, well, 2 people, and I heard all beautiful reviews. And it was like, okay, I'm moving to Australia. So I've never been, and out of nowhere, I said, I'm moving there. I'm going to live there for a year. So no kids, no family that I had to support. I have a family, a beautiful family, but no one I have to support, right? So it was like, okay, this is your only time to do it. This is your time to do it. So I packed my bags. I went to Australia for nearly 2 years, and I had the time of my life. I loved it. Long story short, I couldn't stay in Sydney past, the year and a half I was here because of work. So I had to go back. I always wanted to come back. So another long story short, COVID hits. The world is working remotely. I asked the owners of my company, and another long story short, I'm here now, and I love it.
So let's go back. Let's inform the people. Were you from Detroit? Where were you originally from?
I'm from New York. I grew up in New York. I grew up in Manhattan.
Okay.
I grew up in Manhattan. My dad passed when I was younger. I was 5. I was young, but I fortunately remember a whole bunch. So he passed when I was younger. My mother lived in Harlem, and my grandmother lived on the Upper East Side. So my grandmother She was a nurse, and at the time she was making roughly 400,000 a year. And this is the early 90s, late 80s. She was doing private duty for rich patients. So she was making a lot of money. On the other hand, my mother, she was a single mother to three kids, living in Harlem, working her ass off. So I had the best of both worlds. I had that world, and then of you can't get everything you want, and this is how it is. And the other world with my grandmother of we're gonna travel. If you go to the supermarket, get whatever you want. So I had the best of both sides. So I grew up in Manhattan, Harlem, Upper East Side, both in Manhattan.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, do you contribute your drive from having the best of both worlds?
1 billion%. 1 billion%. On my mother's end, on my mother's end. So my mother, me and both, I have two brothers, two younger brothers. They both have the same father. My father was murdered, and their father was murdered as well. So my mother was a single mother to three kids growing up in Harlem in the late 80s, early 90s, where it was hell. And we saw her keep everything together. Although we knew it was very stressful, I mean, we saw the stress, but she kept it together for us. She was our mom and our dad. And she made sure we were dressed well. We went to school. I couldn't ask anything for a mother more than she provided, right? It was tough love, but it was beautiful love. On the other hand, with my grandmother, it was more, I was, her son that passed was my father. So she got to relive being a mother again. So I got that beauty from her. And on her end, it was more, this is how you act when you go to the bank. You know, you're talking to the banker, you sit back like you own, not like you own the place in a cocky way, but you're deserving to be here, right? Speaking up for yourself, just taking action for certain things. And not that my mother didn't show that to us, but it was in different ways. My mother didn't take us to the bank and say, this is how you act. This is how you speak about or talk about CDs, very basic investments. So it was the best of both that when it came together, it grew me into who I am today.
So while you're in school, what was your inspiration? What did you want to become as an adult?
So while I was in school, when I was with my mother, I was in public school. When I was with my grandmother, I was in private school. So I had like both educations, and I was also mixed with both people, right? In Catholic school, I was probably one of the few Black children. In public school, I was around every race possible, right? So I got both. I got both sides. So when it came to what did I want, I always wanted to go to the NFL. I just always knew that. And I was certain I was going to go to the NFL. I knew I still can't believe I didn't make it. I swear to goodness, it's weird. That me wanting to go to the NFL is what kept me going to school every day. I never cut school because I thought I wouldn't make it to the NFL. I stayed on path and on course to everything in college only because this is the gateway to the NFL. So that was my drive to everything.
So in the NFL, okay, so if you would have made it to the NFL, what position would you been, a corner or
safety? Safety. Yep, defensive player. Mm-hmm.
So in school it was books, football.
Don't get me wrong, it was books, but it wasn't a student grade whatsoever. It was still enough to play football.
Okay.
It was just enough to play football. I started getting really good grades. A really good friend of mine, Miriam. So I went to Temple University, and I was excited because I got a B on my English paper. And I called Miriam and I told her, and she was quiet. I'm like, hello. I'm thinking the reception broke up, and she was like, that's not good. I'm like, what do you mean? I got a B. That's fucking amazing. Excuse my language. And she gave me a talk, and in that talk was, you have to learn how to compete in the classroom the same way you do on the football field, right? And it's easy to say, but the way she broke it down to me was just so freaking clear. And from there, I started getting really good grades. So my GPA went up a lot, my grades went up a lot, and that carried off into today as well. But before that, it was just enough to play. I didn't let girls distract me because the NFL, although I dated and things like that, it wasn't relationships, step aside. This, step aside. Halloween, all my friends want to throw eggs, step aside, because I can't get suspended from school. I got to go to the NFL.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in lieu of everything, we find out that in life, you don't know how close you are to a person until you actually have a conversation. So in school, my parents, I wish you would bring a C, a D, or F home, or it's gonna be a whole
So
problem.
you had amazing grades growing up.
I had no choice.
So I would have been the person cheating on your tests in school.
Probably. So I was what they call a nerd athlete. Like,
I love it.
So when you come from that type of, my family are athletes, and but we're very smart, very intelligent, and so sometimes you have to be plucked and put with certain people in your circle to make you better.
What
And
did you play before?
What did I play?
Yeah.
The question should be, what didn't I play?
Okay, I like it.
High school, it was track and field. It was softball, volleyball, swim team.
I love it.
Basketball. I was all year round because again, when you know that you're a person that if you don't have a busy, you gonna get in trouble.
Yeah.
So I had to keep myself busy at all times, or I would venture off and be somewhere I don't need to be.
Exactly. Which is most important?
Absolutely. You have to know yourself.
Exposure.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. And then, once you get into that role of knowing who you are, what you're capable of doing, then you'll find that more people are gravitating to you. And so I would say then the sunshine was started to be born at that time. Not realizing that you're a natural born leader. So you either lead them into hell, or we're going to lead them into the right direction. Which one is it?
Right.
So now that we know that your goal was the NFL, so was the NFL more so the focus of the superstardom to help take care of your family, or what was it?
It was, I swear to goodness, it was so simple to me. It was so simple. I was so certain it was going to work out this way. I go to the NFL. I start a bunch of programs that's going to help so many people. I will be able to help or start programs that can help people start so many businesses. It was really cut and dry, that simple. There was not much more to it. Not that that's not a lie, it's huge, but there was no more thinking. People would tell me their problems. I'm like, well, I know the answers to mine. Just go to the NFL and do it. So when I didn't go, it wasn't a, what the hell happened? You didn't go to the NFL, you failed. The transition happened to be so smooth that what I started doing next was still part of my path. And it still is. So, when it comes to professional sports, I play with a lot of people that went to the NFL. Some people you would think would never make it. Not that they sucked. Not that they did suck. But in terms of you just didn't think they would go, and they did go. And some people you would see are spectacular in every way, and they didn't make it. And there's a reason why 1% of Division I athletes make it to such an elite level. It's a lot of talent and hard work, and there's also a bit of luck as well. It's 1%. Something has to fall your way. So I'm not saying I'm not taking anything away of why I didn't go. I just didn't make it. It just worked out that way. And then when I learned about stocks, my friend and I, we threw a party on campus. It was right before college, right before we graduated, and we put down $3,000. We hired a venue. This is in Philly, and we were gonna charge. I forgot how much to get in, but we had radio promotions all over the radio, and we thought we were gonna make at least 15,000. Right? We're gonna take that money and do this and keep growing. Long story short, we lose that money, and it sucked because that was all the money I had left coming out of college. I spent like I had $2,000. It was just wiped out. So now I leave college with no money, but literally the next day I went to a stock seminar, and that stock seminar, it opened my eyes to another world I just didn't know existed. I learned in that one seminar, it wasn't a course, it was a 2-day seminar. And in that one seminar, my eyes opened to a world that not only did I not know existed, but would lead you into a world that you can do whatever you want financially. And my friend and I, we had put money together. We borrowed a bunch of money from people, $10,000. We went to UBS and we said, hey, can you invest this for us? And what we wanted to do, they couldn't do because we were unqualified. So the money we would have made, we didn't make. So one day, oh, Camila, so this is what happened. So I'm laying in my bedroom one day. I'm living at home. I'm laying in my bedroom on the floor, and I'm meditating. All I hear is a money manager. I had no idea what that meant. So I looked it up, and it was a person who invests for their clients, right? In the stock markets. Long story short. And that's exactly what I wanted to do. That's exactly what I've been studying. That's exactly, a voice said to me what I had to be doing. And I just did it without thinking. So I went to a firm on Wall Street, and I went in for an interview. So I go into this place. Listen to this. I go into this place. It's in the penthouse on Wall Street on the 42nd floor, and the building is just golden, right? Everything about this building is just gold. It spews money. So I go up the elevator. It opens to this beautiful receptionist, right? I loved her. She was a receptionist. Anyway, she told me to sit right there. This guy comes out. He comes in. Oh, I'm sorry. She tells me which office to go into for my interview. I walk into the office. This guy's back is towards me, looking out his window, just like in the movies. He turns around, says, "Take a seat." And then he interviewed me, and he said, "When do you want to start?" And I said, "Right now, today." So he gave me a tour of the office. This is where it gets crazy. So he gives me a tour of the office. There's marble floors everywhere. In the bathroom has bathroom attendants. There's a television screen with CNBC in the bathroom. If you needed to brush your teeth or shave your face, the bathroom attendant gave you what you needed, right? There was a tip basket in there as well. When we went on to the trading floor, you open this door, and there's over 100 stockbrokers on the phones, yelling, screaming, going crazy. Everyone's dressed like they're on the cover of a GQ magazines. The assistants, because there weren't many, there was one female broker. So the only women in the office were the assistants. And all of them they had Rolexes on. They looked amazing. They looked like they were making, a lot of money. And the whole place looked like that. So there's maybe 40, 50-inch television screens all over the place. And when someone gets a new client on the phone, the loudspeaker goes off and the CEO yells, "So-and-so just got a new account." Or if someone made over $10,000 commission in the day, the CEO would come on, "So-and-so made this amount of money." It was typical to hear so-and-so made 50,000 on the day. So-and-so made 20,000. So-and-so made 100,000. They would yell how much money clients sent in that day, right? So, if I had a client hypothetically and they sent over 100 grand, the CEO would jump on, "Jonathan Miller, 100,000, funds on the day." So the energy in that place, if you could imagine, was like no other. And the CEO every single day religiously would give a speech to everyone in the firm. And every speech was like Martin Luther King talking to you. You followed, you believed, and nothing else existed. And why wouldn't you be successful? Because you were going to be. You know, it was like you were brainwashed in this beautiful environment of working your ass off. And the people, I know I'm talking a lot, I'm almost done. The people that made, you know, $1 million a year or plus, the people that made, you know, $100,000 a month or whatever, the top producers, they all worked as if they weren't making any money. They'd be in the office with everyone at 7 a.m. They leave at 9 p.m. religiously. Just like kids playing basketball in the basketball court, you know, all day, all night. That was their gym, you know, and that turned out to be my gym. Instead of me practicing all day or running all day or lifting weights all day, I was in my gym, you know, learning to speak and conduct business with clients, learning how to cold call, learning how to conduct myself in a business manner, learning how to grow in every way business wise. And I've been doing that for the last almost 15 years. So it was a new world. It was a new world, and it was beautiful to enter. And so I didn't make the NFL, but I'm in my new NFL.
Absolutely. You
Hmm.
probably making more than most of them anyway.
Yeah, but all that stuff varies. All that stuff varies because I've seen so many people have successful or good businesses and they lose it, you know? So, and not just in my industry, just in general. So, you know, when do you make it? When did you make it? If you can lose what you have tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's tough to say that.
So, so you know, I guess I want to say being the ignorant person in the room.
Hmm.
Um, my only assumptions with stock market, of course, we go to the famous movie.
Wolf of Wall Street.
No, not even that. Uh, Mine was Trading Places,
Oh yeah, I love Trading Places. Yeah, it was great. I
and
think
so
every
right. So is that how it is or no? You know, like
um
when they were in
yeah,
the on the floor and oranges was whatever.
right.
Um,
They were dealing with
yeah.
commodities and mhm. Trading places. So it's hard to say any movie is how it is in real life, only because movies are movies, right? If anything, movies learn from real life. So for me to say, you know, Wolf of Wall Street, for example, which there was a lot of corruption going on, you know, some businesses are ran with poor moral ethic. Some are ran beautifully clean and pristine. So it's hard to say this is how it is in real life. But yes, with Trading Places in particular, that's the basics of commodity trading, you know,
Mhm.
and and everything they were doing is yes, it was. I think Trading Places was a good depiction of how it is in real life with that. Although I don't deal with commodities, it I think it was pretty good.
So how long were you on in this gold building before you decided, hey, I can do this on my own?
Well, I never started my own business when it comes to this industry. I never started my own business. Um, will I one day? Who knows, right? But I've always worked for a company when it comes to this. The only business I started on my own was with my partner, Big Time Closer, and so we both worked on Wall Street for roughly 15 years. And after teaching so many people how to sell, we decided to start our own company teaching people how to sell. Not with investments, not stocks, nothing in particular, just selling. If you sell socks, for example, we can help you. If you sell anything, medical equipment, whatever it is, we just teach people how to cold call, how to conduct meetings face to face, and how to close a sale. So that's the business that we started.
So being able to teach people basically um, a level of customer service,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, absolutely. Customer service and how to sell yourself in order to sell your goods.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
When
how long have you guys been together now?
Well, he hired me as a stockbroker when we first started the business. When
Okay.
business. So He's about 2 years younger than me. I think he's 35, 34. He started the business when he was, I don't know, maybe 18. And out of learning everything I did from him, and then us partnering and teaching other people in the stock industry how to pitch, how to sell, then one day a few years ago we said, hey, let's start a Big Time Closer and teach other people how to sell, and take it from there.
Which is good. You brought up a lot of things that sometimes we don't do, is partnerships.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure if it's a trust issue or we don't see the purpose or the bigger picture in it. But sometimes as businesses and as podcasters, all of these type of things, in my mind, it's the village.
Yeah.
Because we realize that you can't do this on your own. Anything that is bigger than you definitely need help.
Mm-hmm.
I am not an expertise at all things. I just know how to talk.
Right. And even with the things you do know how to do, we still need help with them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's the understanding that I'm not in competition with you.
Mm-hmm.
We can all do this together. We all can cross
Yep.
the line together. We all have ideas that have been given to us that yes, we can share this, and then you can be better because you know that you have the knowledge that I have, and vice versa. But
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times we get into this world or this space where you feel like I'm not. I want you to win too. I'm not in competition with you.
Ego comes over. You want to be the best. You want to be the only. Yeah. I know it. And unfortunately, we stunt. When I say we, us as people, we stunt our growth when we feel that way. Like we hinder our success.
Absolutely, and we do. And sometimes over situations and things that we have encountered, growing up or whatever the case may be, we just take like I don't trust nobody. I can do this by myself, and this
Mm-hmm.
is that. And it takes you longer to get where you want to get. And again, there's things that I just don't know, and
Yeah.
you have to ask for help.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And of course, when you do partner with people, like you said, when you do, if you do, you have to. It's hard to, like how you said, how do I know if I can trust this person? And when in trusting that person, it's not just is this person gonna steal, you know. Let's throw that part out the window. There's so many other trust issues. That person, and I was speaking about this on my YouTube page just recently, at Big Time Closer. It's you have to trust you have to know whether that person has to be hungry and want this as much as you do. You have to know the person's lifestyle, because what that person does in their daily life is going to affect your life. Is this person strong on drugs? Are they strong on alcohol? That's going to hinder. You're going to have to deal with that directly. Is this person reliable? Is this person? Can you count on this person to do something very important without you having to micromanage? Can you say, "Hey, do this," and not have to ask again because you know it's taken care of? And those are the small things, which are huge. Those are the few things, rather, that you need in a successful partnership, and that's what makes it extremely difficult.
I think when you what I have learned is separating friendship from what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of people who will support you in whatever you need me to do, but then when you give it to them, it's like they move slow.
Yeah,
They, and I'm like, you gotta
I'll
when I
do it
give it to
tomorrow.
you, yeah,
Yep.
when I give it to you, you got to do it then, because you never know, especially with doing things like this, it fluctuates. Like I
Yeah.
can be not have a lot of people, and then all of a sudden, boom, I'm
Mhm.
booked for the next 3 months,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah. Yeah.
like, I need flyer, I need this, I need that, and then it
Do,
end up being like, you know what?
do you have any business partners?
I do not.
Okay. How do you feel? Do you feel like you're missing out on anything, or do you feel like you're at the right path or the right pace, rather, of what you're doing business wise?
Honestly, I mean, I would love to have, like the sponsors to, help with the day to day, because
Hmm.
all of this stuff is not, it's not free.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
things that I have to, pay monthly, or upgrades and things of that nature, um, to be able to do some things off my plate.
Yeah.
Because again, I have a whole full job, I have a whole husband, I have other
Mhm.
things that I do. I'm an ordained minister. I'm doing a
Are
lot.
you? What do you do for work, by the way?
I'm a government contractor.
Okay, nice, nice. I didn't
So
know you were a minister. That's cool.
yes. So a lot of things I'm busy. Then I help with my mom. I'm constantly doing things. Plus, I'm doing this. And
Hmm.
sometimes I'm be like, okay, well, I would love to do this as my full-time job, to be able
Okay.
to, connect and help people. And because I know you, I'm gonna put you in front of this person so you can get what you need.
Hmm. Yeah,
And
yeah.
be the connector that I am. Yes,
Hmm.
this is what we're all supposed to be doing. Did I always know that I was going to do this? No, I did not. But eventually, like you said, you were already doing it. It was second nature to, it was first nature to you. You just
Yeah.
didn't
You
realize
didn't.
it.
Right. Hmm. Hmm.
So yeah, I would love to have partners. I would love to, get this to a whole nother level. And when I would ask questions, like, my audience should be this, my numbers should be this, and a lot of people would be like, well, you got to get your numbers up. Well, how I'm
Yeah.
gonna do that if,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
wait, I'm
Yeah.
asking, I need
You're
help.
asking so you can get to that point. I understand. Yeah. It's like a conflict of both ways. This
Yeah.
person says, "I'm willing to do this if you can have these numbers," but on the other end, it's like I can get those if you just give me some of the capital I need. I get it, but look, just keep doing what you're doing because one thing that attracted me to you. I forgot which interview I was listening to of yours. I couldn't remember, but you had said something. I'm paraphrasing. You had said, was it Ellen? You had said you believed, and I'm paraphrasing this whole thing. You believed you were where you would believe you're going to be huge in this industry because you feel that God is leading you to do so, right? I paraphrase the whole thing. And in
Yes.
fact, you said it was way more powerful. So what attracted me to that is even if God didn't say that and you believe it, you believing in that is going to make you get to where you want to go, right? Now, I believe God told you that, right? I just happen to believe you when you say that. But the beauty is you will be successful at something, especially if you think it's divine, because you're just never going to stop. All right, shit, I fell flat on my face today, and I don't know how the hell I'm going to get back up. It literally looks impossible, but I know God wants me to get there. So there's a reason I fell. God made me fall. So let me just get back up and keep going. And if you do that a million times over, you're gonna get there. One thing I love. There's this documentary on the History Channel, and Rockefeller, he got to where he got because he felt it was divine intervention. All the negative, all the obstacles he had to overcome, it didn't deter him because he believed God was leading the way. And if you have that belief, you are gonna get it whether God did say it or not.
I
Does that make
believe it.
Yeah.
Even with it is funny that you said that. Even when I interviewed for the job, and I went in, and I knew I heard God. At the time, I think my hair was, no, my hair was blue, and I changed my hair a lot. It was blue, and God told me to start talking about superheroes, X-Men in particular. What I did not know is they were looking to boost up the morale of bringing people together as a team. And the icing on the cake was that I was an ordained minister. And so I get into this job, and every day I get a chance to speak to life to every person that's there. And even in this moment, when I tell them, I said, if I ever sign something for you, you better keep it because I'm going to be so famous.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll look like, what do you mean? And so I tell them, I'll tell them about the show. I'll tell them about other things that I do, sing, write, play, all of these different things. I said, I don't know how God gonna do it. I just know it's going to
It's gonna
happen.
happen, right? Yeah.
And even in those moments when I have um what in the world is going on and what am I wasting my time, I'll have someone close to me like, I need you, right? And I'll be like, what do you mean?
And that's the energy you need.
Absolutely. I had shared, and I don't mind sharing this. I was having blurred vision.
Mm-hmm.
Like how you wake up and your eyes be like
Yeah. When was this?
recently.
Okay.
And I was having difficulties going on with my body. So I knew my sugar was way off.
Okay. That
And
makes sense.
my friend, I went to tell him about it, and he said, I knew you, and this person I knew since middle school. He said, I've seen you in the classroom. I know how intelligent you are. And I know when you say something, it's going to happen. I seen you. And I was like, I just need help. I need discipline. I need accountability. He said, you're talking now. He said, I want you to understand. I don't want you to be selfish with you.
Mm.
And I said, what do you mean? He was like, you ever thought, and it's not being arrogant or anything like that. He said, you ever thought how people would be without you? You might be their only inspiration that they have.
Yeah.
What would you be?
Mm-hmm.
How would I live? How would my thoughts be if I didn't have my own personal sunshine?
Yeah. Yeah. Like it's
Never
so much
thought
more.
it like that.
It's so much more than what we see. It's so much more than what we see and realize. I remember once
Yeah,
very.
it's bigger. It's bigger than us.
Mm-hmm. One time I was on a train ride going from Long Island, going from Manhattan to Long Island, and what I'm saying it reminded me of what you just said, and it'll wrap back together. So I'm on the train. I'm not sleeping. It's a very mild sleep, but it's more like I was in a very strong meditative state, right? And sometimes when you're in that state, you know you're awake, but you're also on the verge of sleeping, but you know you're awake. Not, and it's not like a lucid dream either. You just know you're awake. Anyway, I have this conversation. I'm sorry. I had two of these conversations. I've mixed them up. One time I was home meditating. I just moved back from Australia, and I felt so grateful. I'm in bed, about to go to sleep. I'm meditating, and out of nowhere, I had these overwhelming tears flying out of my eyes, and it's tears of happiness. Like I was just in a state of bliss, and I've never done this. I'm not a crier. I don't cry for no reason. And in this meditation, I'm just crying, and it's gonna sound crazy. I'm talking to God in this meditation. I don't hear a voice. I feel it, but the feeling is as strong as you and I speaking right now, and and God had asked, "What do you want?" And and as soon as I was about to say what I want, I'm like, everyone says what they want, right? And so I stopped a bit, and I felt the words, "Only if you knew how you help me every day." And so just that part of the story, that part of the meditation, thinking about that with what you said, only if you knew how much you help me every day, you saying how helpful you are to other people every day, and we don't realize it. We only realize what we see. There's so much more out there going on that's around us that we make beautiful, but we have no idea. You smiling at someone walking down the street, who knows how you brighten their day? Someone probably was gonna kill themselves. You said, "Hey, your dress looks nice." You know, you gave them a feeling of being noticed that no one else in the world ever gave them. These are examples, but you get the point. Feeding a homeless person, maybe that person was on the verge of giving up. And you feeding that person made that person say, help is on the way. You know, there's so many instances. How, and obviously we can go on, but we connect with so many more people than we realize, and we help so many more people than we realize.
Um, I am definitely a firm believer in that. In every day, I see it. I decided to buy my whole office Christmas cards, and they said, "Well, you know, you can't really say Merry Christmas, so it had to have Happy Holidays." And with some that I'm closer to, I made notes in it, and some that I don't even see all day, I still gave
Mm-hmm.
cards, and everyone was so appreciative. And one person, he had just came back from his son's wedding, and he said, "Wow, I wasn't expecting this, and to see that it came from you really made my day."
That's beautiful. Yeah.
And I'm thinking, at one moment, it's just a card, but to him, it was someone took the time to care about me.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't
Recognizes me.
have to.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And so this is the whole point of why we have these conversations, because we do need each other. We have You're in arenas that I never thought of or
Mm-hmm.
never knew. And to be frank, I never knew Black people was into that
Yeah. Same. Until
until,
it was exposed.
and now I know someone who's 10 something years younger than me, who's um making his own path in an area that I had no clue and no idea that we even was in. So
And
again,
Camila, not to cut you off, why is that? It's like that because you're the bridge. You know, you're that bridge connecting. And even what you just said, I'm sure you're speaking for other people who was unaware of that, and now they're walking along your bridge. You know, and they see and have access to another world. And so that's the beauty in what you're doing.
um now that we said that, um I had another guy who was a Black pilot, and I took a lot of the information that he said about being on time. I'm a stickler. If you really know me, you know I'm stupid early. Like,
Hmm.
I don't care. I'm um that's just me.
Hmm.
He said, I want people to understand the importance of being on time. One pastor I knew taught that being late was a sign of poverty.
Hmm.
And then when I heard the pilot, he said, we try to be on time because you never know, somebody else needs the connecting flight,
Hmm. Hmm. Right.
or they got other things to do.
Yeah. And their business, their livelihoods are based on you being on time.
Absolutely. So I took it in the spirit realm of, I have to make sure I am where I'm supposed to be, so those who are connected to me can get to their destiny. That's
You
why
have to be on
I
time.
I say, literally, you're 6 degrees of separation away, one person away, one advice away, one help away
Yeah.
from where you need to be in your destiny. If you don't show up, I can't get to where I need to.
Hmm. Yep.
If
You.
I don't show up, who
Right.
knows who God has ordained to be a part of my journey in order for
Mhm.
them to get to where they need to be.
Right.
So our conversation is bigger than the stock market. It's bigger than just having this conversation. Again, you are way in Australia.
Hmm.
Come on. You are
So
way in Australia having a conversation about life. is
Mhm.
more than just and I think one of the moments that I went to bed and I said, some of these people didn't make it to the new year. You don't know when your time is up. You don't. And I had said last year, I spoke into existence that me and my husband was going on a cruise, and it happened. We already got two plans for the next 2 years. One
Nice.
in September, no, yeah, one in September 23,
Where
one
to?
in February, the Eastern Caribbean.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Nice.
And then I have one with my siblings and their spouses and my husband,
Okay.
February of 24. So it's like, no, I am traveling. I am getting out here. I still got to get to Italy. Now I got to get to Australia. So it's like, no,
You have to come.
time
You'll
is
love it.
short.
Beautiful. Hmm.
I know. So time is short. So now I understand I'm meeting more people internationally because eventually I'm going to get there.
Yep. Yep. 100%. 100%. You said you said people you don't make it. You don't know if you're gonna make it through. People aren't gonna make it through the year. And my dad passed December 30th, like 2 days right before the new year. And just my uncle just passed last week, and he had 4 children, and right before the new year. Life, whether it's before the new year or it's the middle of the year, the beginning, like we never know, and it's cliche, it is, but reality hits when it happens to you. So as long as everything that we're talking about now, if you can just put them all together and just try your best to just live by those some few disciplines, you wouldn't be able you wouldn't regret too much. But again, if it were that easy, everyone would be
Everybody would
doing
do
it.
it. Absolutely. So one of the things that we has talked about was your book, The Blueprint
Mhm.
Dare to Be Wise. So
Yeah.
I know in the bio it said that you had got evicted and you were
Mhm.
living on your office floor.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So so the book is complete. It's been completed. And I'm right now I'm in the process of having it on Amazon. So it'll be up shortly, within the next, I want to say, couple of weeks. Um, so this book, and to answer your question, yes, I did write about that. The book is comprised of a bunch of short stories. And what makes this so special is because when I had written this, each short story is maybe at most 2 pages. Each short story, what I would do is, before writing, I take a shower, turn off all the lights, take a shower. So while I'm showering, I can't think. Like my mind is just blank. And I get into a meditative state. I sit at my desk with my computer. I throw my hoodie over my head. So I just feel like I'm tunneled into what I'm thinking. And what I do is, and it sounds crazy, but what I do is I pray in a meditative state. And I believe that I'm opening my to to outside sources sharing information with me. And I really believe that when I write, it's being spat out on paper. And so these short stories are, I feel what this book to me is digging in your closet and the skeletons and the inner beauty that we all have is like you can pull it out, right? And you get deep within yourself. And so each short story is different. For example, it starts off with moral dyslexia. And exactly how it sounds is what it is being morally dyslexic, right? So some of these short stories are nonfiction, some are fiction. This one in particular is a bit of both. So the reason I love this story is because everyone who reads it swears to goodness I'm talking about them, right? But I'm not whatsoever. They'll look at me saying, "You writing about me?" I'm like, "Nah, man, no one's thinking about you." So so anyway, the point is, in moral dyslexia, sometimes I want to say we all get to a point where sometimes we're doing something we shouldn't be doing. And you start off clean and great, and you're doing something you shouldn't be doing, and step by step, you get darker and darker. What you once believed is is masked by something that you shouldn't be doing. And when you finally get to a certain level, you look back and sometimes you question yourself, who am I? And the beauty of this particular story is it fits all layers of moral dyslexia. Moral dyslexia. If yours is very mild, it hits you. If it's medium or extreme, it hits you. It hits all levels. And to the point where you look back and what you once believed, you're not the person who you once were. And now, okay, how do I get back to who I was? So in my case, what I did was I went to what I look at as church. I went to Central Park. That's my safe haven, right? Or anywhere in nature. In this case, it was Central Park. I went to Central Park at night, where no one's around and it's just quiet. And I said out loud what I did that was wrong. And I was honest to myself what I did was wrong. And I asked for forgiveness from God in my case. Some people may ask for forgiveness from the universe, which I think is the same. And I truly believe that nature absorbed all of the trash I had inside of me. That was my garbage disposal. That's our garbage disposal. And so I speak about that. So you go through this craziness. Okay, shit, I'm going through it. I relate to it. How do I get out of it? And it gives a solution. Obviously, it may not be your solution, but it worked for me or that person or this person. So let me try it. When it came to the eviction story, one time, so in a short story, I just wrote something called Rock Bottom. And that's what I had hit at the time. And I got to a point where, and this was a while ago, I got to a point where work was great, business was great, the best it's ever been. And I just stopped working. I was messing around with a bunch of girls and partying all the time. Long story short, if you don't work, you lose what you have, right? And I got evicted from this really cool penthouse apartment I had. And I knew I was gonna be a bum if I didn't get my act together. Jonathan Miller was gonna be a bum. And that scared the shit out of me. That I can go on in this long journey in life and be nothing. So reality struck. I called my friend who had his own office. It was a small office. I said, Dave, my pride cannot let me move back home, right? It was just my ego wouldn't let me move back home. I need to learn how to work again, and I need to get out of this situation. So when we were talking, we were talking about all the billionaires that used to sleep in their car or were homeless and this and that. And we both said, well, what if I slept in your office, right? And that's what I did. That's what I ended up doing. So I was forced to wake up every morning very early to work because I didn't want anyone to know I was sleeping in the office. And I was forced to work late every single night because I had to go to sleep. I had to wait for everyone to leave in order to go to sleep. And I had to work until everyone left. And I did this. I thought it was going to be maybe 1 month. I don't know. It was 6 months. But in those 6 months, not only did I just learn a lot, my business went right back up to where it was. And then I moved to Australia. This was about 7 years ago. And yeah, so that's what I had spoken about in that. And so, yeah, the book is comprised of everything. This also, I talk about freedom. Not freedom in terms of I'm free. I'm not in shackles or anything like that. But it's just, it's flirting with the idea of things we can't do and living in those realms of happiness, those brief moments of happiness. For example, imagine you can be underwater and not have to worry about if your oxygen tank is almost empty, right? You can swim all beneath these underwater caves and you're free to explore because you're not constricted of anything, right? Running on a field and jumping up and floating off into the skies. Imagine you can be in the middle of burning fire, but that fire burning your skin is giving you energy, Imagine being able to explore outer space as deep as you want in the universe. So it just talks about all of these stories together, nonfiction and fiction, and it just gives room for your mind to really explore and just think about things you never thought of before.
I think listening to this, I'm not sure if you saw the new Avatar movie.
No, not yet. Did it come out? It did, right?
I don't. Well, I saw it. I'm gonna leave
Oh,
it
did
at
you?
that.
All right, fair enough.
So there's a lot of things that plays with the idea, don't get stuck in here. When things can happen, whether it's good or bad, and you have to change your atmosphere.
Right.
When you get to this new atmosphere, you have to evolve with the new atmosphere. And they went from being fighters and this, in the trees and all of this, to now being underwater people.
Yeah.
Now they have to learn a whole nother skill.
Right.
Waking this up, it was there. They just never had to do that because they were tree people. Now they're with water people. And so it was like, okay, even in this moment, every day that we should wake up, that God gives us this opportunity to breathe life into us. And this is our prayer of, I don't take nothing for granted. That, the activities of our limbs and organs and things of that nature, that I have to say it out loud, not in my brain, out loud. So whatever will manifest of me speaking it out, like in my superhero mind, is if you could only see what you actually say come to pass. If you actually see the words that comes out of your mouth are forming as you speak.
Right.
So as I'm sitting here looking at the millionaire, looking at somebody who will be on Forbes and all of these different magazines where the world will say, hey, this is a successful Black man. I'm saying to myself, if he could do it, I can.
And we all say that. And what I say to myself is, why can't you do it? Why can't we do it? We're not trying to invent. We're not trying to go to Pluto, something that no one's ever done. We're trying to do things that has been done, replicated 1 billion times over. So why can't we do it?
Absolutely. We had this, I guess, running joke, like, I want to go out to space. So you are in space.
Literally,
no,
we're
right. No, you're not. I said, where's Earth?
Yeah, it's in space. Yeah. Hey, question: would you travel with traveling SpaceX and Jeff Bezos traveling lower orbit? Would you do that?
I don't know.
So I'm offering you a ticket today, Camila. Let's travel out of space. I think, I don't know, maybe 30-minute trip. Would you do it?
I would.
Nice. I can't wait to do it.
I wouldn't be. I think jumping out of a 15-foot cliff into water, seeing it, you'd be like, yeah, I probably could do that, until you get on top of the cliff.
It looks higher than it freaking is.
And I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And they're like, you can't go back down. You have to, you're here now. You got to do it. And they counted 1, 2, 3. You said, you want me to do what again? Wait. So the second time, eventually he said, what he told me, he said, don't hold on. So there's a rail right here. He said, don't hold on to the rail, because the rail will be the thing your mind is saying, no, you can't go. Let go. See yourself beyond where you are now.
Yeah.
And that registered to me like, I'm not going nowhere. I'm going to do this. So because I hesitated, I jumped and I did it. And I was so happy and proud of myself that nobody can take this away from me, because I did this. I did something that most people are afraid to do. I did it. And because I hesitated, I said, I'm going to do it again. I walked up the cliff.
Then it becomes normal to you. It
became normal. When I got up there the second time, it was no hesitation. I just jumped.
Right. And similar to your level of standard in life, you did that, and you did it, 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 and you did and you did it again. Now that's normal. What used to look so achieving at one point, or monumental rather, is nothing now. And now you walk that monumental plane. Other people look at it like, wow, Camila's up to that level that I'm dying to get to, and you're at that level saying, all right, this is nothing. I need to get to the other one. They all relate in when it comes to that.
And my point, as you will call me, the bridge, is to allow people to understand you're not alone. There's so many people out here who have achieved where you're trying to go. And we all need to, put our pride aside, put our
Mm-hmm.
ego aside, and say, I need help.
Mm-hmm.
Who is it? What
Mm-hmm.
is it? And then go for it.
Yep.
The success story of who knew. I saw a lady today. She's on the front of a book. She's been writing, and she had AIDS, not HIV.
Mm-hmm.
She had AIDS, and she's cured.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I literally touched her.
Yeah. Silly question medically, like she doesn't have the virus anymore. Or
no.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Wow.
so, and she was married with kids, and none of them have traces.
That's
I know
beautiful.
this was an act of God,
Mm-hmm.
It's like I've touched her, I've talked to her, I've had her on this show in my first year. And to see her where she is now is, you can't tell me what we can't do. You can't.
Absolutely.
And so to be able to talk to some of to me, the world's greatest. If you've been on this show, you're the world's greatest. And I feel like the world has to know your name.
Mm-hmm.
And I can be able to say, I remember when Jonathan Miller sat down on his couch in Australia, December 23rd on his end, December 22nd on my end. And we talked about life, about being the big time closer in life. You think it's just the name, but it's life.
I didn't look at it that way until you said it.
Wow. No, you're a big time closer in life, not just, a .com. No, in life. You given me inspiration. You have given me breath that I needed.
So and vice versa. Just from the very beginning of our conversation, vice versa. It helps when you don't think you're crazy by believing. For example, most people, it sounds crazy, but it's cool. I honestly believe I'll get to a certain level one day that is not fathomable, right? But I truly believe that because of God. Like, I honestly believe I'll get to this one level because of God, and I know it's going to happen. And similar to what you said, when you said what you said, things like that I find comfort in. When I find someone else who truly believes such a level of greatness that they'll achieve, it helps me feel like I'm less crazy, and this is all possible and it will happen. So vice versa.
Yeah, so I'm excited to, of course, like I told you, regardless, we'll always keep in touch.
Absolutely.
And when the book comes out, of course, I'll bring you back on to, promote yourself. It's needed. So everyone that is on, I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. I hope you guys got out what you needed to get out of taking encouragement to be a big time closer yourself and whatever you're trying to do in life. You're looking at not only survivors, you're not only looking at people who look beyond themselves, but we're here. We're trailblazers. And we have moments of needing encouragement and support from you. So again, it's funny that you're naming your book The Blueprint Dare to Be Wise. I just published my first single book. I've had other books out with other people, but this is the one by myself, and it's The Blueprint, God's Design.
Get out of here. That's cool. What a coincidence.
Exactly. So I thought it was very funny. It is now on Amazon. It came out right before Halloween. So The Blueprint, God's Design is getting back to the beginning.
I'm when we get off, I want you to send me the link. I want to purchase it.
Absolutely. And I appreciate it. Again, if you guys want to, the book is there. Even if you can't get it out for Christmas, it's be there. Again, that is the link, The Blueprint, God's Design. If you enjoyed the show so well and you wanted to donate to keep the lights on, as we say, my Cash App is here, $ Sunshine Kamilah, KAMILAH. Again, that is Cash App at $ Sunshine Kamilah. Again, you guys can go to bigtimecloser.com to support. If you need someone to come in and get you together with your cold calling or in person, so you can actually be a big time closer, please reach out to him. And in the meantime, my last point is live big. Time is short, so live big. Whatever your dreams are, run to it, fall for it. Love again. Do whatever needs to be done to make sure that you live a life of happiness. And you deserve that. You deserve it. If you don't have peace, and we all have been in a place where we don't have peace, peace is everything. So that's my tidbit for tonight. Again, life is short. Happy holidays. If I don't see you again, I do have a show on Tuesday after Christmas with the young football player who's doing very well here.
I saw that coming up.
And so my last little moments, Jonathan, do you want to say something to the people?
Firstly, again, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. To everyone else listening, thanks for listening. I enjoyed this episode. I hope you guys did as well. And similar to what Kamilah said, we're gonna die one day. We will die one day. So let's go all out. Let's go out in a blast and do what we have to do before that time expires. All of the information we need to do anything is already out there. We're not trying to reinvent a wheel. Whatever we want to do has been done 1 billion times over by other successful individuals. So let's just do it ourselves.
Absolutely. Again, I believe in 6 degrees of separation. You're literally one person away, one advice away, one help away from where you need to be in your destiny. It's been proven over and over again. Again, thank you, Jonathan, for taking the time out all the way from Australia to talk to us this evening. Again, I will talk to you guys later, and hopefully I will see you on Tuesday. Happy holidays. Enjoy yourself and be safe. Peace.
See you. Wow. Love you. Nice talking to you.
Always.
Later.